Hey guys, how's it going? This is Johnny at DIY Health, and today we're going to start a very new series entitled How's It Growing at the Wildwood Natural Farm. We know here at the Wildwood Farm that it can be really hard and overwhelming to start a garden on your own, but we don't want to leave you alone. So we just provide this short little series, a 10-part series, to show you the basic rules or the basic tips and the basic ways that you can start there at your home, wherever you may be. So you're ready, you're excited, you're ready to go all in to start your very first garden. You're scared that there may be a food shortage, or you're insecure for the supermarkets to provide for you and your family. I understand. Or you want to live off the grid and just learn how to self-sustain? No problem. But before you jump all in and buy all the seeds and potentially waste your money, let's talk a little bit about planning. I will give you 3 simple reasons. 1, it will increase your chance for success. 2, it'll help you to foresee and meet obstacles in the future. And 3, it will help you to be better organized. All right, guys, let's go outside.
Just do it again. Not stab yourself in the hand.
Now that we're outside, we're actually in greenhouse 2. We're gonna start talking about how you can start planning your garden. Here at the Wildwood Natural Farm, we have 4 big greenhouses and a big field. You may live in a house or apartment or a dormitory or in a place with a plot of land. It is up to you how much space you're going to use and what you're going to use within your space for gardening specifically. Once you map out a general idea of what you're going to use for your space, you're going to now decide how to effectively plan and how to use it and utilize it. So for example, I have 5 beds here. No, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 6 beds here. I had to effectively plan what am I going to put in each one according to the spacing of the plants. And right now, I currently have half a bed open here. So I had to effectively ask myself, what am I going to put here that is most beneficial for productivity and what is most beneficial for our market, since that's what we do. But at home, it just may be about your tastes and what you like in general. Once you know how you're going to utilize your space, you're then going to begin to ask yourself what methods. So depending on where you're at, in a dormitory, an apartment, you may consider something like grow boxes, or growing with buckets indoor with sufficient drainage, anything that may be able to suit and fit your needs and your circumstances. Or if you're in a plot of land, you have to determine, are you going to use raised beds? Or are you going to use in-ground beds? Do you only have a patio space, or do you have no space at all except for the inside? How are you going to grow? This is one of the biggest part of planning. How are you going to utilize your space? What methods are you going to use? And once you decide, now it is time to buy the materials. We'll have a further episode on indoor growing specifically, and we'll get into more details then. All right, now that you have decided how you're going to utilize your space, now we're going to talk how to practically fill your space. But before you go and buy all the seeds that you wish you could plant, just wait 1 second. Consider what season you are in or what season you're about to plant in. This is very, very important. Something else that is important is to do some research to see what zone or region you are in. Is because not all plants grow throughout the whole year, and that you'll need specific climates for specific plants in order to grow them well. So before you buy and waste any potential time, effort, and money, consider the season first and then the zone that you're in. So some amazing tools that you can use to help you in this process. You can just simply do a Google search on this. Planting calendar for vegetables. You can search up in the planting calendar. Basically, it will bring up a chart or a website that will help you to first type in your zip code to figure out your zone or your region. So our zip code brings up zone 7, and then with that, it will ask you, okay, which crops which crops are you asking for specifically? Today I want to look at collards, carrots, and broccoli, and it will bring up a very specific chart to show you the proper time and season, or if any season, that you can do seedings inside and start seeding and planting outside. These are very important windows for you. It's just an easy tool. Basically, to make it simple, zones are just categorized by the different states based on the climate. So understanding your zone and your season is very important. So now that you have understood these, it's time for you to start choosing your crops, because since you know your season, it's going to restrict you to a few lists, and now you can choose. So now that you have chosen which crops you're going to use, it is now very important to, within your utilized space, figure out how much of your crops you can plant. So let me give you a prime example. Say this is a 20-foot bed. Each crop has a very specific amount of space that it needs between each crop and between each row of the crop itself. So if you have a 20-foot bed by, let's say, 4 feet, it is up to you to utilize how much of that bed you're going to use within the spacing requirement for your particular crop. This will help you to be very organized, efficient, and help you to increase your productivity. And so now that you have figured out how you're going to fill your space with the proper spacing of your crops, I want to show you how you can find it on the seed packet itself. I'll let you take a look. All right, so here you'll see that it is black lettuce seed. Usually each packet has all the needed information. This one's kind of general, but I'm going to show you anyway. On the back of it, it shows you many different plants and varieties, and it shows you the proper spacing of how deep you want to plant it, how far from each plant, and how wide your rows need to be. This is a sure way for you, and if you have any questions, you can always Google it yourself. Real quick, guys, I'm just going to show you quickly how you can measure out your plants. Just pull out a measuring. After you check the proper measurements, you can make some holes. I have about a little over 1.5 feet between each here, and about 1.5 feet or over in between on the rows. All right, great. Now I want you to start thinking of how to plan to meet your plant's needs. Some plants don't like to be watered from the top. Some like to be only watered from the bottom. You have to think about all the weeds that come in. How are you going to control your weeds? How are you going to water? Are you going to do it by hand or by irrigation systems, which we'll talk about later in a further episode? What and how are your plants' needs, and what are you going to do to meet them? That is very key for you in successfully growing your plants. You can do some extra research on each variety and just think about the common everyday things that you're going to have to do. Good, and the last thing I would like to suggest for you in planning is to consider succession planning. It's basically the idea of when you have a bed full, ready to be harvested, is that you have some backups already in place, some transplantings already in place, so that way you can put them in the ground as soon as you harvest your other crop. We are seeking to do that here with our lettuce, our collards, our kale, and you can do it at your home wherever you may be as well, to stay prepared, over-prepared, and to keep dreaming big. All right, let's get back to the shed. I'll see you there. All right, guys, so here we are back again. We're about to wrap up our first video for you, but before we go, I just want to share some tips. Tip number 1, expect the unexpected. Things that are just going to happen that you can't control and perhaps don't see yet because a lack of experience. That's okay. 2, learn from your mistakes. Have a grow mentality. Don't be too discouraged that you stop now. 3, dream big. As you expect the unexpected, prepare for the worst. Dream big, even if you have something very small. Overreach when you plant and when you seed. And 4, of course, have fun. And at DIY Health, something that is a special part of our series is that each video we're going to conclude with a special health nugget. Just as it requires much determination and planning to start your very first garden, so it does as well when taking charge of your health. There may be many obstacles in the beginning, many steps that may seem overwhelming just to get started, but take it small, simple, and soon. And as you apply the health principles to your life day by day, you will then achieve the health benefit you are looking for. Thank you for joining us on this very exciting series. We are looking forward to seeing you at part 2. So don't forget to plow that like button, hit that subscribe button, and comment below what are your favorite methods, how are you utilizing your space, and what suggestions you can give us for the next video. Until next time, how's it growing?